Hello kids! Do you want to learn new things today? I would really love to hear a big yes from you. I am Teacher Jinky and I will be your Science 5 teacher. I'll gonna help you many things and I'll bring you an amazing world of science. So, are you ready? Great! But before we go to the world of exploration, I want you to get your pen, notebook, and your learning module in science. If all set and ready, come on! Let's start the learning adventure. We will cover the lesson on different modes of reproduction in flowering and non-flowering plants. Learning objectives. Describe the different modes of reproduction in flowering and non-flowering plants such as moss, fern, mango, and others. Plants are food manufacturer of the world. They provide us food, fiber, shelter, medicine, and fuel. In the process of food production, oxygen is released, which is essential to life. The only source of food and the oxygen are plants. By the way, what is flowering plants? Yes, you're right. Flowering plants reproduce usually through a process called pollination. Flowers contain male sex organ called a stamen and female sex organs called pistils. Plant can either self-pollinate or cross-pollinate. When we say self-pollination is a transfer of pollen grains from another of stamen to the stigma of the carpel of the same flower or different flower of the same plant. Self-pollination happens when a plant owns pollen fertilizer its own ovules. And also, cross-pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the another to the stigma of different flowers of different plants. Cross-pollination happens when the winds or animals like bees, butterflies, moths, and birds move pollen from one plant to fertilize the ovules on a different plant. What are the agents of pollination? Yes, the agents of pollination are insects like bees, butterflies, moths, animals, wind, and water. And of course, plants can also reproduce through asexual reproduction. When we say asexual reproduction, it produces plants that are genetically identical to the parent plant because no mixing of male and female gametes take place. Asexual reproduction involves vegetative reproduction through stems, roots, and leaves. There are different methods of asexual reproduction. They include vegetative propagation and fragmentation. And vegetative propagation does not require seeds or spores. Instead, offspring grow from a part of a parent's plant. Here are a few examples. Onions, potato, ginger, and strawberry. And then fragmentation is another form of asexual reproduction. It involves new plants growing from small parts of a parent plant that fall to the ground. This is one of the ways that plants like liverworts and mosses reproduce. Propagating from cuttings is another method of fragmentation. Next is non-flowering plants. Non-flowering plants can produce using cones, seeds, and spores. Non-flowering plants rely on dispersion to continue their life cycle. They use either seeds or spores, which are very tiny parts of the plant that can be used to reproduce. Here are a few examples such as ferns, mosses, horsetail, cone-bearing plant. So, that's the end of our discussion. I hope you understand what are the different modes of reproduction in flowering and non-flowering plants. Let's check if you understand our lesson by labeling the given plants as flowering or non-flowering. Number 1, fern. Flowering or non-flowering? If your answer is non-flowering, you are correct. Number 2, mango. Flowering or non-flowering? If your answer is flowering, you are correct. Number 3, Moses. Flowering or non-flowering? If your answer is non-flowering, you are correct. Number 4, horsetail. Flowering or non-flowering? If your answer is non-flowering, you are correct. Number 5, papaya. Flowering or non-flowering? If your answer is flowering, you are correct.